Hi, this is David Davis from VMwareVideos.com and Train Signal, and I'm glad to be here with Jake Robinson from BlueLock. Jake, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you, David?
Great, great. We're here at the VMware vCloud. That's not the
vForum. The virtualization forum.
Virtualization forum. Thank you, thank you. So tell me what you do for BlueLock.
I'm a senior systems engineer at BlueLock.
Okay.
So day-to-day stuff, I work on automation, so PowerShell, PowerCLI type stuff with the infrastructure, as well as the network team. I'm on the network team as well.
Really? So how big is the vCloud, or the BlueLock vCloud infrastructure? Are you allowed to divulge that?
I can divulge some of the hardware. So as far as ESX hosts, we run HP DL 585s, 48 cores, wow. 512 gig of RAM.
Oh my gosh.
And we have a cluster of those, so it's good stuff.
Amazing. About roughly how many virtual machines are there in the infrastructure? Thousands?
We went with the pod concept. Each pod will run about 2,000 virtual machines.
Wow. Are you using any sort of brand name block thing that you want to talk about?
No blocks to speak of. This is the BlueLock block,
the BlueLock block, okay.
This is something that we engineered ourselves. It's a combination of HP, Seago, I don't know if you've heard of Seago, that's XSIGO, and various SAN vendors as well. Okay, very cool. So you talked about automation and PowerShell. What types of things do you do in the cloud with PowerShell and automation? So with our underlying infrastructure, we have various needs for deployment and maintenance like any other VMware administrator has. Okay. In addition to that, there's a need for clients using vCloud to utilize PowerShell and some automation stuff there as well.
Okay. You were telling me earlier about a script that you came up with. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
So I wrote, based on this need, various PowerShell functions based on the vCloud API. So vCloud is a RESTful API. VMware has yet to deliver any PowerCLI type snap-in. So I decided to write these functions. One of the use cases is uploading your virtual machines from your internal vSphere infrastructure to your public BlueLock vCloud infrastructure. Okay, so you're able to, this is all a PowerShell script? Mm-hmm. Okay, that uses the vCloud API? Right.
And of course the vCenter API as well to?
A combination of PowerCLI and my own library of functions that I wrote for the vCloud API.
Wow, wow. Is this a public script that anyone can? Okay.
It is on GitHub, so github.com/Jake Robinson, I think. It's available there.
I'd like to check that. I'd like to write a blog post actually on, and we could get together and demonstrate how so you could use the script to say power off a virtual machine in your current internal private virtual infrastructure, then export that virtual machine into the BlueLock cloud and get it up and running all in one script.
What I've learned is essentially if you can say it in English, I can write it in PowerShell, right?
Wow, very cool, very cool. So we were also talking about the vCloud connector. Mm-hmm. Tell me about how that works.
So if you're not really a script guru, a lot of people are uncomfortable with the command line. There's also the vCloud connector. What the vCloud connector does is allows you to put the snap-in window essentially into the vCenter client and view both your internal infrastructure and your BlueLock vCloud infrastructure in a single pane of glass. So I can, kind of that same migration use case, I can upload virtual machines to the BlueLock vCloud data center, or I could download virtual machines from the BlueLock vCloud data center. Either way, back and forth.
So these would have to be powered off virtual machines, right?
Right now they do have to be powered off.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember at VMworld, I want to say 2009 or something, Steve Harrod got up there and did a demonstration of virtual machines. The load was high at this data center and virtual machines were automatically powered on at this other cloud provider, and so anyway.
So VMware actually used us for that. So that was running on BlueLock. It's called, there's AppSpeed, so it's called AppSpeed.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So
it's coming. F5, VMware, they're calling that cloud bursting now. So we're hoping that to defeat the use case of having to power off your virtual machines, BlueLock is going to be bringing on a replication solution that both for recovery as a service and as a migration tool.
So BlueLock's going to have their own replication.
You will be able to replicate to the BlueLock cloud. Now, what I'm hoping is that the whole idea behind vCloud is that it's not a proprietary interface that you're locked into. So there will be vCloud providers popping up everywhere. And our hope, our dream is that the same replication service that BlueLock will be using, all other vClouds will be using as well.
Yeah. So the vCloud connector, that would work with any vCloud data center provider? I mean, it's not just a BlueLock only thing, is that true?
Correct, yeah. So we were trying to phrase this correctly. We were very close with VMware in developing the vCloud connector. And we designed it so that it'll work with any vCloud director instance.
I mean, but there's only a handful of vCloud data center providers in the world, is that right?
There are a small number of vCloud data center providers that are certified by VMware to do so. But there's there's nothing stopping somebody else from running a vCloud data center.
So it could be just any cloud computing company that has vCloud director.
We're seeing a lot of colo companies pop up with a cloud product. BlueLock is obviously, we started with VMware. We're very close to VMware as a partner. And we're a purebred cloud provider. A lot of colo companies, you'll see this more and more, colo companies are going to be popping up with their own cloud type service.
But they're not certified by VMware?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, very cool. Well, I appreciate your time and insight into vCloud connector and some really cool PowerShell scripting.
We'll be talking more later.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.